Hello, my name is Akiram White, and today I will be doing a presentation on the marginal analysis of marginal. I'll be doing a marginal analysis of GameStop. Now, what is a marginal analysis? A marginal analysis is basically just going through the different decisions, business decisions that are made by a company to increase profits, to increase marginal income, marginal costs and marginal benefits, to decrease marginal costs and increase marginal benefits, as well as taking and as well as looking at the opportunity costs that are also came from those decisions. GameStop was originally from Dallas, Texas. It was originally called Babbage's, which originally was a software company that got started in a technology software company that got started in 1984. That was founded by two former Harvard students, James McCurry and Gary M.K. Kusin. Their first year on the market, they lost a fair bit amount of money. But after that, in 1985, they started breaking even. Eventually, from an expanded chain of 23 stores. And shortly after that, they were able to open 35 stores, so at least within their business, to the point where now they have 2,915 stores across the nation. And the business strategies that GameStop uses does very much align with the marginal cost, with marginal benefits, and does have some fair amount of opportunity cost. So just let's get right into it. What's the opportunity cost? No, with the marginal cost. So now for the marginal cost, the general marginal cost that they have are two things: advertisement and stores and locations. And the facilities of those stores and locations. First, for advertisement, they have to take into account paying for television advertising, print advertising, digital media advertising. Although personally I don't watch TV, so I don't see their ads on television. At a certain point in time, there were multiple ads with actors and everything that had that advertised GameStop. And last year it cost them under $100 million to get all these advertisements out everywhere. Now for locations in the stores, and for the facilities, it's mainly for first of all, it's finding those locations, which are usually shopping malls or those store centers with all different stores, like a Macy's and all that. It's usually one of those, and that's where GameStop usually locates. One good example of the marginal cost, though, is in 2019, due to an increase in digital sales and digital going digital, like with video games and everything. They ended up opening 210 stores, so that way they could keep up with all of that. Another marginal cost that they had was energy, and that energy, when it comes to lighting and everything, in their stores. In the same year, what they also wanted to do was correctly manage their energy, and reduce carbon emissions. And they did this by also doing having another marginal cost, in which that was buying out an energy company that had to be equally as carbon and had to equally be environmentally friendly, as well as being cheap to pay for and everything. And those are the two major marginal costs, in my opinion. Now for the marginal benefits, there's a few. One marginal benefit is their tagline, "Power to the players," which makes consumers feel good and has consumers come in and spend more money. Typically to gamers, or to hardcore or casual gamers, to be totally honest. Then there's the location of their stores. You have vintage stock, and you have vintage stock, and as well as GameStop, two stores that often compete. And the reason why I bring this up is because they're usually in these shopping mall places where you have a bunch of people going around buying stuff. So maybe a family's in that buying mood, and they end up getting like like a Wii game or like a Nintendo Switch game or something like that, um, and there are marginal, benefits from that, make it so it matches up with the marginal cost that they have to get from getting these locations and everything. Finally, for opportunity costs, from what I researched, there aren't many, but some are. I feel like hiring more employees from every GameStop that I've been to. There's not been that many employees for real. And there's also, and there's also the opportunity cost of not getting as many consumers as they could. They focus very much on the variety and of all types of nerds, but it's called GameStop for a reason. And most of the time when I go into GameStop, there's games, but most of it's filled up with plushes or stuffed animals or just kind of like just nerd trinkets, if I have to say. And although there is a market for that, it does alienate a hardcore hardcore gamer. Consumer base that they could easily tap into, because hardcore gamers are very loyal to what they like and everything. And those are the two opportunity costs that I could find. But in conclusion, I think GameStop is struggling, especially after the pandemic. The pandemic switched changed the view of a lot of people and like how they want to get stuff and how they buy stuff. And through the pandemic, everybody learned, oh, we can just buy everything online, and freaking the companies, like Sony, Microsoft, and Nintendo aren't helping, since now you can just buy games like online as well, like digitally, and sometimes there's even consoles that are digital. So at that point, it's like, what's the reason for it to have a GameStop? But I do not think that GameStop are in trouble or failing or anything. I often do go there myself because of just the atmosphere. But at the same time, the locations that they open up, where they locate, as well as just the pandemic. The GameStops are just more barren. Malls are just more barren. So naturally, GameStops are more barren, which does pose a problem, since that's where GameStop gets a majority of their consumer base, from people who go to malls. But I personally, I don't think GameStop is on its way out. I just feel like that they should come up with a better strategy, and not so much as rely on malls and stuff like that and things like that, which although do have a market, there can be other avenues that could be explored as well, which like online, since everybody else is moving on there. So maybe I feel like they should put more attention on to selling games online and selling other stuff online, as in my opinion. But yes, that was my presentation. I feel like I learned a lot about GameStop and their business decisions. And thank you for watching.